السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome back with Inaas Alqurashi. Thank you for joining me. Today, inshallah, we will discuss the reading passage on unit number 1. Don't forget to subscribe in my channel, activate the notification bell, add any comment if you want. Don't forget the like and the share. Okay, our objective today. We are going to list means of communication. راح نحط أو نضع list لطرق التواصل. Find the meaning of new words in the text. نطلع معاني بعض الكلمات الجديدة. Recognize sentences about the means of communication. راح نطلع جمل فيها عن طرق الاتصال بين الناس. Explain the reason Timothy's want to develop email. راح يعني نشرح سبب ليش تومسونز يبغى يطور الإيميلات. Okay, now we are going to talk about the history of communication. تاريخ التواصل بين الناس أو الاتصال. كيف؟ أول شيء بدأوا بإيه؟ First, they use smoke, fire and smoke to communicate with each other. كانوا يستخدموا الدخان والنار عشان يتواصلوا مع بعض. Then they use the drum, they use the sound. استخدموا الأصوات في التواصل مع بعض خصوصا لما يكونون بعيدين عن بعض. الطبل استخدم. Then they use animals like pigeon, donkeys, horse to transfer letters to communicate with each other. كانوا يستخدموا الحيوانات في إرسال الرسائل. Then they use telegram or telegraph اللي هو التلغراف إرسال الرسائل عن طريق هذا الجهاز. Then they use the telephone. After that, nowadays we use emails البريد الإلكتروني. Before reading, I want you to tell me what is the title of the reading passage. From smoke to signals. From smoke signals to email keeping in touch. How many paragraphs are there? They are 5 paragraphs. What do the picture shows? Okay, we can see in page number 12 smoke signal إشارات الدخان, drum الطبل, telephone page 13 mobile phone, telegram جهاز التليجرام and the email. Okay, now you are going to listen to the passage, then you are going to tell me what each paragraph talk about. مهم جدا انك لما يكون عندك قطعة فهم تسمعي للبراجراف الأول تحاولي تفهمي إيش فكرته، إيش المين ايديا، إيش الفكرة الرئيسية. Okay, listen.
Page 12. 9. Reading.
From smoke signals to email, keeping in touch. From the Stone Age to the present, people have shown a desire to send messages to one another over long distances. In ancient times, according to one story, a chain of fires on mountaintops was used to relate the news of the fall of Troy to the people in Greece. In the past, native people in the Americas used smoke from fires to transmit messages. They developed a code in which certain combinations of smoke rising had special meanings. For example, 2 parallel columns of smoke indicated the successful return of a war party.
Page 12.
Okay, in paragraph number 1 it talks about smoke signals اللي هي إشارات الدخان ما بين بعض. So because of smoke signals the Greeks know about the fall of Troy. عرفوا عن سقوط هذه المنطقة. Okay, complete listening.
Page 12. 9.
Of a war party.
The ancient Greeks established lines of signal towers at mountaintops. At each one, a large fire was lit to transmit a signal to the next tower, and in this way, information was passed on through the land. Also, almost anything that makes a noise has been used for signaling. A kind of drum talk is still used in Central Africa today, although few who are not natives have been able to understand it. The sender uses a drum that can produce a high or low tone. Because the local dialect alternates in these tones, the sender is able to simulate speech with the drums.
In
Page 12.
Okay, paragraph number 2 talks about lighting fire and using drum. Okay, lighting fire and using drum عن إشعال النار كإشارة تواصل بينهم و using drum using sound استخدام الصوت عن طريق الدرام ليتواصلوا مع بعض.
Page 12.
Simulate speech with the drums.
In modern times, people have communicated by letter, telegraph, and telephone. But no one method has become as widespread as quickly as the use of email. The first email message took place in 1971. According to its sender, Ray Tomlinson, it was probably the following: QWERTYUIOP. What was significant about that? Nothing, really. This is just the top row of keys on an English language keyboard. Tomlinson was just testing out the system and using a nonsense message. He had no concept that he was going to start a revolution in communication.
Page 12.
Okay, paragraph number 3 talks about modern ways to communicate using letters, telegram, telephone, first email. الطرق الجديدة للتواصل عن طريق الرسائل والتليجرام والتليفون والإيميلات. Okay, complete listening.
Page 12.
That? Nothing, really. This is just the top row of keys on an English language keyboard. Tomlinson was just testing out the system and using a nonsense message. He had no concept that he was going to start a revolution in communication. Tomlinson was one of a group of scientists who were working on developing better computers. The scientists at his site were able to send a message to a mailbox on the computer on their site. Other scientists could view the message in the mailbox. But there were other computers at other sites where scientists were working on the same project. Tomlinson's idea was to figure out a way to deliver messages to mailboxes on those remote computers. He used the @ sign to identify messages that were headed out of the local machine to the more distant ones. That was the start of the emailing system that we still use today. At first, the number of people on email was small, but by the end of the 20th century, there were 263 million email boxes. In the 21st century, that figure has grown to over 2 billion, and the functions of email services in the future will become more and more diversified. And text messaging on cell phones is also increasing, so people can, in effect, be in constant touch with people who are long distances away.
Okay, now you have listened to paragraph 4 and 3. Paragraph 4 talk about the story of Tomlinson's. Okay, قصة Tomlinson's. What did he do? Why did he do it? Okay. Paragraph number 5 talk about the increasing number of email user. ازدياد عدد المستخدمين للإيميلات. Okay, now we want to discuss paragraph number 1, which is about smoke signals. How did the Greek people know about the fall of Troy? Of course, because of the chain that they made it of fire on the mountain top. بسبب السلسلة chain يعني سلسلة من النيران سووا chain of fires on mountain top على رؤوس الجبال. Okay. What did Native Americans use to send message? إيش كانوا يستخدمون عشان يرسلوا الرسائل؟ They use smoke from fires. What did two parallel columns of smoke mean for Native Americans? إيش معناته الخطين المتوازية من الدخان لما يسووها؟ It means the successful return of a war party. معناته انتصارهم في الحرب. طيب, now we are going to know the meaning of some word. Transmit means transfer. transmit message transfer message نقل للرسائل. parallel it means equal يعني شيء متوازي، خطين متوازية، عمودين قدام بعض. okay, let's discuss paragraph number 2. How did the ancient Greeks pass information through the land؟ كيف كانوا يرسلوا الرسائل من خلال الأرض، يعني من منطقة إلى منطقة. They establish lines of signal towers at mountain tops. At each one a large fire was lit to transmit signal to the next tower. كانوا زي ما قلنا يضعوا إشارات على كل برج، كانوا مسوين أبراج على رؤوس الجبال يولعوا فيها النيران، واللارج فاير النار الكبيرة هذه was lit كانت ترسل رسائل من برج لبرج. يعني هذا البرج الأول ولع نار عشان يرسل للبرج الثاني، وكان النيران عندهم لها معنى. What has also been used to transmit a signal? For give example. إيش كان غير النار يستخدموا smoke لإرسال الرسائل؟ Anything that makes a noise has been used for signaling, a kind of drum. okay. كانوا يستخدموا الصوت في إرسال الرسائل، يا عن طريق الدرام اللي هي الطبل. okay. طيب how does the drummer simulate speech؟ كيف كان ينقل الصوت اللي يضرب على الطبل؟ The sender uses a drum to that can produce a high and low tone. كان يستخدم الطبل اللي يطلع صوت عالي أو صوت منخفض. okay, look at the meaning of some words. delicate معناتها accent. delicate local delicate اللي هي اللهجات المحلية زي اللهجة الجنوبية، الغربية، الشرقية، الوسطى. okay. شمالية. طيب simulate imitate بمعنى يحاكي يقلد. طيب look at paragraph number 3. How have people communicated nowadays؟ في هذه الأيام الناس كيف تتواصل؟ okay, they use what? letter, telegraph and telephone والهاتف. What is the most popular method of communication? Of course, email. When was the first email sent and who sent it? The first email was sent in 1971. Ray Thompson was the sender، هو اللي أرسلهم. What did Thompson write in the first email؟ إيش كتب في أول إيميل؟ QWERTYUIOP. What does it mean or stand for؟ إيش معناها؟ هذه الحروف اللي كتبها. It was nothing, just nonsense. The top, it is only just the top row of key on an English language keyboard. كان بس بيجرب الكيبورد. okay. Why did Thompson send QW these letters? He sent it why? To just testing out the system. كان يختبر النظام شوف هو يشتغل ولا لا. okay. Look at this word. Widespread means expand، يعني widespread سريعة أو واسعة الانتشار. okay. Nonsense means empty talk اللي هو الكلام الفارغ اللي يقولوا له هراء ما له معنى. Revolution means uprising اللي هو الثورة، إنهم يسووا أشياء جديدة تكون ثورة في المعلومات، ثورة في الاختراعات، شيء جديد. Okay, let's discuss paragraph number 4. Why did Thompson want to develop email؟ ليش يبغى يطور الإيميلات؟ Why? To communicate with other scientists working with him، عشان يقدر يتواصل مع علماء آخرين يعملون معه. Why did Thomson use at؟ هذه العلامة معناتها at. Sign to identify message that were handed or headed out of the local machine to more distant one. عشان يقول لك من فين وصلتك هذه الرسالة، من ماشين قريبة محلية إلى ماشين إلى جهاز بعيد جدا. Okay. Look at the meaning of the word site. It means places اللي هي المواقع. Let's discuss paragraph number 5. How many people had used the email by the end of the 20th century? 263 million email boxes. In the 20th centuries. Does the author of the article think email will become even more popular? Of course, yes. In the future, will become more and more diversified. متنوعة. Diversified means different. متنوع. Okay. Now, read the passage and find all sentences that talk about the different means of communication. Compare what you find with your partner. Okay. A chain of fire on the mountains. هذه واحدة. عندك كمان smoke from fire to transmit message to. signal towers والأبراج. أول شيء قلنا النيران على الجبال، بعدين الدخان، بعدين قلنا signal towers that people shouted from، الأبراج اللي يصرخوا منها من برج لبرج. drum talk، الطبل، استخدامهم للطبل. by letter، telegraph، telephone and email. Okay, now after reading, answer these questions. Complete the following sentences about the reading. Number 1. People have shown a need to communicate with one another since the Stone Age. كانوا الناس يبغوا يتواصلوا مع بعض من العصر الحجري. When Native Americans saw 2 columns of smoke، لما يكونوا يشوفون عمودين من النيران، إيش معناها؟ They knew that a war party was returning and that was successful. عرفوا إنهم انتصروا في الحرب وإنهم يقيموا حفلة. All the drums are used in Central Africa to communicate messages. Only a few non-native can understand the drum message or language. كانوا يستخدموا زمان إرسال الرسائل الطبل، لكن مو كل النيتف يعرف معناها. When Thomson sent his first message, he wasn't thinking of starting a revolution in communication. أول مرة أرسل الرسالة ما كان يفكر إنه يسوي ثورة في الاتصالات، كان بيجرب testing the system، كان يحاول يختبر النظام. Although email only began in 1970s, by the end of the 20th century, there were 263 million email boxes. بالرغم من أن الإيميلات بدأت من عام 1970 أو 1970، ولكن بنهاية القرن العشرين بدأ استخدام الإيميلات اللي هي الإيميل بوكسز، صندوق البريد، 263 مليون. Nowadays, millions of people are used to being in constant touch with people who long distance away. الآن الناس حاليا constant keep in touch، يتواصلوا مع الناس البعيدين، القريبين مع البعيد. Okay, look at the discussion. Think about how you communicate with different people. Work in a group, make notes in the chart, use notes to talk about communication in class, which are the most common and most effective way and why. نبغاك تعلمينا كيف تتواصلي with a friend مع الأصدقاء, with relative مع الأقارب, with people who live far away مع الناس اللي هم بعيد. With a friend, ways I communicate with text messaging مع الأصدقاء, أرسل لهم التكست messaging عن طريق الجوال. advantage اللي هي المميزات, disadvantage اللي هي المساوئ. fast and easy to use. disadvantage cost a lot of money. الرسائل النصية فيها دفع للمال أكثر, هذه مساوئ. with relative ممكن I can communicate, ممكن أتواصل معهم سيلفون عن طريق الجوالات. من الادفانتج مميزاتها, you can be available at or to everyone, متاح لكل أحد. cost a lot of money, وبرضو اتصال الجوال بيخليك تدفعين كثير من المال. way I communicate with people who far away عن طريق الإيميلات. advantage it doesn't cost a lot of money, الإيميل لما أرسل معي أصرف عليه مال كثير. you need to be in a place that has a hot spot, بس إنه يبالك اتصال عالي, wireless connection. Okay, thank you for listening to me. Have a nice day. Thank you for joining me. With you again, Inaas Alqurashi. Don't forget to subscribe in my channel. Don't forget the like and share. Add any comment if you want. Don't forget to activate the notification bell. Goodbye.